When I was first told about DAFNE and coming into a group, I thought, well, no, I don't think I'd like that. And especially being in a room and a whole week with a group of what I thought was lecturers being lectured at. I didn't think it would be very good, but once I was here, certainly, yeah, it helped. The group really helped. We had a great group, and we all felt comfortable with everybody.
I've always been told to come on it, and I wasn't so keen, but after I came here, I would definitely recommend it to any diabetic. The information I've learned here might have taken me 20 years to learn by myself.
I've been asked hundreds of times to go on the course, but because of like my life and what was going on and stuff, there was never a good time to do it. And also a week out of uni and work was just completely unrealistic. Having said that, I do kind of wish I'd done it earlier because it has helped me loads. It is worth taking a week out. I kind of fell off the radar for a while. I wasn't coming to clinics. I was kind of being looked after at GP surgeries, and decided at the end of last year that I needed to grow up a bit, take my diabetes seriously, mainly due to the imminent birth of my daughter. So I actually rather uniquely asked to come on a DAFNE course, and needed something to give me a structure and to kind of set my diabetes back on track, if you like.
Our group was very good, a mixture of ages and a mixture of lengths of diabetes, which was particularly useful, from people like myself who have been 2 years to people who have been on the programme for 20 years. And it's really good to actually see their group experiences and find their situations out. And we found a lot of useful information, not only from the tutors and the lecturers, but also from individuals themselves who are able to recount their stories and their scenarios. And the group activities were particularly useful in that respect. The bit that I found most interesting was when we recanted each other's scenarios relevant to blood glucose and input and plotted on the charts, because you got a chance not only to see your own results and how the effect of the insulin and the carbohydrates affected your version, but you got to see the effect on the 8 or 9 people who you were with, thus in effect getting 8 weeks in one.
I was, I think, the second youngest in the group, and the total of diabetes was 104 years between the groups. So we had people that had diabetes for 30 years, I think, on the course. And we had one patient who had only 1 year experience. I enjoyed the fact that we worked in a group, because sometimes it's a question that you'd like to ask, but you can't ask, and somebody else asks it, and it turns out to be the same question. Well,
the group genuinely, the structure, deliberate or otherwise, the way that the week was run in our case was excellent, in that it was structured, but it was loose enough that we got to enjoy the company of diabetics. It's not that often you sit in a room with 10 other diabetic people, and that was one of the best bits of the week. You have the understandable apprehension before you join the group that if you've not been particularly well controlled, that you're going to be the bad one, and everybody else around the table is going to be fantastic, and you're just going to feel terrible for a week. But genuinely, you know, you get a lot of support from people like me that weren't particularly well controlled, right up to learning the skills of people who were fantastically well controlled, and the group experience was an incredibly powerful part of the week and in the learning of the course.
I feel more confident in coping with it and dealing with it, and I found the best part was meeting other people with diabetes and getting on well with them and sharing stories and experiences, because I didn't know anyone. I knew of people, but no one close to me at all, really.
I've lost quite a bit of weight. I lost half a stone in a month, almost 10 pounds, I think, in a month.
And do you think that's because of DAFNE, or is that just because?
No, it's because of DAFNE. Before that, like, I wasn't losing weight, not that I was trying particularly hard, but I think because of less insulin I'm on and the fact I just don't snack anymore because I can't be bothered to inject. So I have lost weight. So hopefully this time next year I'm going to be thin.
I lost a little bit of weight, but it's only been a month since I've been on the course. But hopefully I'm expecting to lose a lot more and have a lot less hypos.
Going out, obviously, with alcohol, things like that, that session really helped me, obviously being young and that. That's really helped me to cope with that side of it. And I know it sounds silly, but just knowing I know there's a lot of people with diabetes, but just knowing there are them and how they cope with it and all of that, I found really positive experience.
I'm on a lot less insulin now. Both my short-acting and my long-acting have reduced by not quite half, but a good sort of quarter it's been reduced by.
Dramatically, yes. I think we estimated that on the Thursday before my DAFNE course, that day I had taken just over 160 units of insulin total, and the Thursday of my DAFNE course I took 45. So dramatic, and ironically I was very sceptical about taking so little insulin. I didn't think it could possibly work, but obviously it gave me much better control, and I was much better controlled with that lower amount.
When I was diagnosed, they talked a little bit about carb counting, but not obviously anywhere as much detail, and that really helped, just knowing what you're doing really and how to do it and how to balance it. And you just don't need as much insulin as you think at all, and the different foods you need it for. Just, yeah, really good, brilliant.
I used to struggle with hypos, for example. This was my bad example. I'd have a hypo, and 2 or 3 hours later I'd have a very bad hyper. I wouldn't be able to control it. Now, when I have a hypo, I know exactly how many carbohydrate portions to have, not to go over, and to get me out of the hypo.
I mean, a week out of your life is a long time, and you always get told how how much diabetes can affect your life and expectancy and other things. So really, a week to give you a much better control, which can, is nothing in the grand scheme of things. It is difficult. It does seem like a ridiculous amount of time to come to learn how to be a diabetic, but it is one of the best weeks I've ever spent, and hopefully it'll set me right for a long time. You
learn a lot, like even having diabetes for 20 odd years, there's still loads I learn, there's still loads I don't know, which I've realised. And you learn from other people, you learn from what you're being taught, and you kind of learn from yourself as well. You learn when you've got insulin resistance in your body, when you're more susceptible to hypos. I've learned anyway, a lot more about me